And the readings will now be given by Dede from Georgia.
I will read from the Bible. 1 Corinthians. Whether therefore ye eat, or drink, or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. Mark. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. Isaiah. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east, and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far, and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Even every one that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. Genesis. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks, and herds, and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed eastward, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked, and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Psalms. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. I will now read correlative passages from Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures and prose works by Mary Baker Eddy. Love for God and man is the true incentive in both healing and teaching. Love inspires, illumines, designates, and leads the way. Right motives give pinions to thought and strength and freedom to speech and action. Like our nation, Christian Science has its Declaration of Independence. God has endowed man with inalienable rights, among which are self-government, reason, and conscience. Man is properly self-governed only when he is guided rightly and governed by his Maker, divine truth, and love. We should examine ourselves and learn what is the affection and purpose of the heart. For in this way only can we learn what we honestly are. In mental practice, you must not forget that erring human opinions, conflicting selfish motives, and ignorant attempts to do good may render you incapable of knowing or judging accurately the need of your fellow men. Therefore, the rule is, heal the sick when called upon for aid, and save the victims of the mental assassin. The purpose and motive to live aright can be gained now. This point 1, you have started as you should. You have begun at the numeration table of Christian Science, and nothing but wrong intention can hinder your advancement. Working and praying with true motives, your Father will open the way. Who did hinder you, that ye should not obey the truth? The prominent laws which forward birth in the divine order of science are these. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Only by admitting evil as a reality and entering into a state of evil thoughts can we, in belief, separate one man's interests from those of the whole human family, or thus attempt to separate life from God. This is the mistake that causes much that must be repented of and overcome. Envy, evil thinking, evil speaking, covetousness, lust, hatred, malice are always wrong and will break the rule of Christian Science and prevent its demonstration. But the rod of God and the obedience demanded of his servants in carrying out what he teaches them, these are never unmerciful, never unwise. The task of healing the sick is far lighter than that of so teaching the divine principle and rules of Christian Science, as to lift the affections and motives of men to adopt them and bring them out in human lives. He who has named the name of Christ, who has virtually accepted the divine claims of truth and love in divine science, is daily departing from evil, and all the wicked endeavors of suppositional demons can never change the current of that life from steadfastly flowing on to God, its divine source. When the mother's love can no longer promote peace in the family, wisdom is not justified of her children. When depraved reason is preferred to revelation, error to truth, and evil to good, and sense seems sounder than soul, the children are tending the regulator. They are indeed losing the knowledge of the divine principle and rules of Christian Science, whose fruits prove the nature of their source. A little more grace, a motive made pure, a few truths tenderly told, a heart softened, a character subdued, a life consecrated, would restore the right action of the mental mechanism and make manifest the movement of body and soul in accord with God. Instead of relying on the principle of all that really exists to govern his own creation, self-conceit, ignorance, and pride would regulate God's action. Experience shows that humility is the first step in Christian Science, wherein all is controlled, not by man or law's material, but by wisdom, truth, and love.